Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, December 20th, 2017. And here are some of today's trends in the news on the market front. Over there in Asia, over there in Europe, over here in the U.S. Beep, beep, bop. Not a lot going on. And oil. Oil's up. Gold's up a little bit. Bitcoin is down into that $16,000 range. Pop. Down from $19,000. Boop. $16,000. But the markets. Today was a big day here in the USSA. That's right. Congress passed that Trump tax bill. And remember, we were the first magazine to call the Trump market rally based on 3 factors that he said. One was the tax bill, and it passed. Number 2, deregulation, so the bigs could get bigger, and he's been doing it. And 3, infrastructure repair, which they say will come next year. But what did the tax bill do? Boop, added another $1.5 trillion onto the deficit, but that's okay. We keep printing up that money. And it also gave those corporations a wonderful deal. Yep. Reduced the corporate tax rate to 21% from 35%. And in other economic news, weekly mortgage applications fell 4.9%. But we're going into the holiday season, so that's no big deal, while existing home sales hit an 11-year high. But when those interest rates go up, how high will that high go? And will it start going down? But going back to the tax cut, they got what they were looking for. The markets were boosted on that expectation. So now, today, rather than the markets celebrating, they is flat down a little bit. So, has the expectation played into the market, and is this the peak? We'll soon find out. But with these tax breaks, a lot of dough is going to come back into those corporations, and being that they're not putting it into capital improvements, they'll keep buying back stock. But again, the interest rate's the big story. And gold prices, they went up a little bit because the dollar weakened because of the tax cut that's going to put more debt on to the shoulders of we the people. But they could print up all that digital money, it won't make any difference. Gold's been trading in this very flat range, but we think the downside risk is much higher than an upside potential, unless, of course, war breaks out in the Middle East. And speaking of which, oil prices jumped because of that North Sea 40s pipeline system is disrupted, and also because U.S. stockpiles continue to go down. But again, we say this is temporary, and we believe that oil is near its peak. Again, absent an outbreak of war in the Middle East, which will drive oil prices up well over $100 a barrel, and bam, zap these equity markets worldwide. Decade of stimulus inflates Asian bubble. Financial Times today. An ocean of stimulus unleashed by central banks in the past decade has washed up to Asia, spurring asset price inflation. Yeah. Record low interest rates. Oh, yeah. Loose liquidity in Asia has pushed the volume of debt issued in dollars in the region to a record high in 2017. Low U.S. interest rates have had a mechanical effect on the Hong Kong property market, feeding cheap cash into the markets, aided by flows of capital from China. Cheap money, all right? Let's put it back together. With the tax cuts coming from Trump, if interest rates go up, the dollar goes up, they got to pay back all this debt, pop goes the markets, and you're going to see a real wipeout happening. Again, it depends on where those interest rates are going. Wage growth slows, hurting inflation goal. Wage growth slowed in the 3 months to September, a blow to the European Central Bank's hopes that falling unemployment will help it meet its inflation target over coming years. Wage growth slows. Going back to the tax cuts, all they do in the United States is help the rich. You look at the data, we the little people get crumbs, like we always do, because it's a neo-feudal society geared toward the enrichment of the economic elite and the political nobility. It's not only wage growth that's not happening, because all they are, we call them multinationals, but in Slavelandia, folks, they're nothing more than plantations. That's all they are. There's the Amazon plantation. Yep. There's the Walgreens and CVS plantations. There's the Macy's plantations, the coal plantations, the Walmart plantations, and a plantation in a country near you where we're going to pay you nothing. And we're controlling the game. We're in charge. So get to work and be quiet or you don't have a job. That's why there's no wage growth. Because it's global. 8 in 10 Americans afflicted by stress. Boom. Hey, not having a lot of fun? Hey, we had a good times roll? Come on, baby, let the good times roll. No more of that, man. These are bad times. These are times to be stressed out because the future is dimmer than the present and the past. When I was a young man, the future was always looking brighter than the present and the past. Goes back to the bucks. Hey, what's one of your top trends for 2018? Brick and mortar bounce back. Just writing about it now in the Wall Street Journal. Guess they read the TrendsJournal. Lots of shopping, except at malls. Residents embrace e-commerce, but also rediscover mom-and-pop boutiques. Oh, yeah. How about his and her boutiques? And her and hers, and his, and the transgender boutiques. Yeah, it's everybody's boutiques. Why, how could you just say mom and pops? Why, I think we should write to the Wall Street Journal. Only kidding. And people make an event going downtown to compact shopping districts where 2-story brick buildings line the streets. Yeah, no kidding, man. Yep. History before it happens in the TrendsJournal. Blockchain mania evokes .com era. Analysts and investors said excitement around Bitcoin and blockchain technology was now reminiscent of the period almost 2 decades ago when adding .com to a company name could drive a buying frenzy. Yes, this may be a frenzy, but it's not the same as adding a .com name because cryptocurrencies are real. They're means of exchange. Bullish case of Bitcoin is flawed. So now we're starting to get a lot of negative news on the Bitcoin bounce. We'll see where it goes. But we believe it's a long-term trend, and as we've said in our TrendsJournal, hey, look at your #1 trend. That's right. Kleptomania cash-in. Yeah, we talk about the ups and the downs, the volatility, the long-range objectives, and hopes and fears. All there in the TrendsJournal, history before it happens. Moving on to some international news. France moves to toughen immigration controls. Yep. Policy and a bill to be debated next year, a move critics have warned would fuel anti-migrant sentiments taking hold across Europe. Hold across Europe? Far-right party wins key posts in Austria coalition. Vienna to toughen stance on migrants. Yeah. Protests greet Europe's far-right leaders. At Prague conference, a call to prevent mass migration. What a surprise. Can't figure it out. How do you get these migrants? Go back to your 2011 Trends Journals. When Obama, the murderer-in-chief, wanted to get rid of Gaddafi, and Gaddafi warned that when I go, you're going to see a migrant rush going through Libya into Europe that you won't be able to stop. And they killed him. You remember Hillary Clinton laughing when they asked him how she felt when they found out Gaddafi was killed. We came, we saw, he died. Now you got this migrant problem. And none of the prostitutes talk about the refugee problem and why that happened. Couldn't be because you slaughtered over 1 million people in Iraq. Hey, isn't Mosul beautiful today? Yeah, I was thinking going there for vacation. Bombing it to nothing. Obliterating one country after another, city after city. But nobody talks about the slimy French and the British and the Italians and the Germans and the American leaders. One after another, launching wars that kill millions, that cause these problems. But we won't talk about that. We'll just remain stupid. Chile's Pineda braced for reform struggle despite poll triumph. Anyway, this guy over there in Chile won an election. Guess what? Another billionaire. Oh, Trump's a billionaire. The cat from over there in the Czech Republic, a new billionaire. Another billionaire. All right? It's a neo-feudal society. Get it in your head, everybody. And in Chile, wonderful election. Yeah, less than 50% of the people turned out. They were so thrilled. This cat is now president with 27% of the vote. It's a billionaire takeover in business and in government in Enslavelandia. Peru braces for impeachment vote. Congress votes on whether to remove president in a corruption scandal. Yeah, no kidding. Always about money. And as well that you're looking at the front page of the toilet paper a record. Look at this. After Me Too, what about us? Despite Ford's efforts, sexual harassment persists at its Chicago factories. That's all these people could write about. One day after another, sexual harassment. And go on the inside. Whoa! Look at all of those photos, folks. Yeah, eating up space that used to be print. But they got nothing to write about. All they do is keep selling divisiveness, which is why go back to your top trends for 2018. Come together. That's right. Companies that understand to bring the people together through music, through anything that they want, in any way that they want, will build their brand and build allegiance. It's time to bring the country, in a country near you, back together. But staying on this, as they talk about sexual harassments, the little slime ball, nothing, arrogant people of the New York slime will never write, Saudi airstrikes kill 136 civilians over the last week. Isn't that great? And Trump loves them, man. Keeps giving them armaments. Hey, how come you're not talking about that? I'll tell you why. Because we're disgusting human beings in the New York slime and all the other media of America. And that's why the Trends Journal, and consider giving it as a Christmas gift for both peace and profit. Saudis say they shot down a Houthi missile destined for Riyadh. How dare they? And then you read another little piece here. Houthi rebels said they had launched a ballistic missile targeting the royal palace to mark the 1,000 days since the coalition started its bombing campaign in Yemen. Quote, "This is our answer to them and to the whole world," remarked the rebel leader in a televised address. And, folks, as Nikki Lowlife Haley, if only women were in charge, what a bunch of crap that is. If only women. Again, black, white, race, creed, color, gender, slime, and lowlife comes in all of them. And so does high life, morality, and integrity come in all of them. But in the stupid divide and conquer world, hey, they make Nikki Haley. You don't say that about a woman, Celente. You is misogynist. Yeah, that's for Nikki Haley and for you and the rest of the warmongering, hating people who may be listening to this, but not, of course, subscribers to TrendsJournal. U.S. security firm Stratfor has reported that Houthi-owned missiles are most likely modifications of missiles previously in the Yemeni arsenal. Yemen amassed a large stockpile of Scud missiles when North Yemen and South Yemen reunified in 1990. The reunification, the Houthis were in northern Yemen. They've been there for 1,000 years. These are not Iranian missiles like low-life Nikki Haley is selling. And the media is repeating, according to U.S. security firm Stratfor. And speaking about low-life Nikki Haley, regarding the United States move to put its embassy in Jerusalem and call it the capital of Israel, she said, quote, "At the UN, we're always asked to do more and give more. So when we make a decision at the will of the American people about where to locate our embassy, all in capital letters, we don't expect those we've helped to target us." On Thursday, there'll be a vote criticizing our choice. The U.S. will be taking names. The will of the American people? No, Nikki. The will of sick people like you and the rest. Taking names? Add mine to it. And then U.S. drill practices invading North Korea, taking their nukes. The most recent drill, entitled Warrior Strike, is a 4-day simulation of a joint U.S.-Korea ground invasion of North Korea. Isn't that nice? Wonder why they're excited. Wonder why they keep shooting off those missiles. Because today, McMaster, that's right, the National Security Advisor, he said, "We are not committed to a peaceful resolution and that the goal is to force denuclearization at any cost in North Korea." We are not committed to a peaceful resolution, and neither is the media in the United States, and neither is the nation, and neither are the people. That's the garbage. Look again at this front page and inside of the New York Times. No one's talking about the mass murder committed by America and the mass murder that they're about to launch very soon. Unless, of course, people remember that, hey, it's Christmas time. The Prince of Peace? Don't forget to do your holiday shopping. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.